I think we've got 16 students now. I think we can start. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. For the people who are new in this and who are not from Hamdard, my name is Manpreet Kaur Kohli, and I'm an assistant professor with Jamia Hamdard University. And I've been teaching here since 10 years now. And before that, I was working with one of the corporates, HCL, if you have heard about. I was working over there. My research area currently is human resource management, and so my this particular session will be little bit biased towards those kind of topics, but more than welcome you guys. If you have any other topic in mind and if you want me to work on that, I will surely try and help. But yes, management and HR would be the areas which I'll be discussing in this particular session maybe, and just to make you understand the functionality of various platforms. So in this session, I will be discussing the basics of SLR. What is systematic literature review? What is its importance? Why is it becoming so relevant now? And eventually, why how and what we can do to improve our LR, and various platforms which I'll be discussing. One of them, which I'm sure everyone is aware about, is Scopus. So I'll be giving you an hands-on practical experience of how to dig out data from Scopus and how to start using it to build up your literature review. So a very basic question to all my participants here. Has anyone till now formulated a research question for their PhD thesis or for their research in general? Any question which you have in mind when you're sitting for these sessions? Anybody? Is my question understandable?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So I'm trying to ask that. Like, for example, my area is job crafting and sustainable employment, right? So my research question usually which always comes in my mind is that whether job crafting impacts sustainable employment in any profession or not, right? So this is one relationship which I have in my mind basically, and then basis that relationship I keep on searching for softwares. I keep on searching for Scopus and Google Scholar and Web of Science. So do you have such kind of questions in your mind when you sit down for research, or that stage has not reached yet? No?
Yes, ma'am. We have questions that we are trying to build a relationship between our research area and, like, in my case, I'm working on workplace spirituality. I'm trying to relate this with job performance on an employee or something.
Okay, great. So workplace spirituality and work performance, you are trying to understand the relationship. Any particular area, Bhavna, in which you're working, any particular country or region you are trying to do your research on, or it is just very
Ma'am, as
general?
of now, I'm trying to do it in health. Let's see. Still not explored that area that much.
In healthcare industry? And in terms of
Yes, ma'am.
country, are you doing only India, or you are doing Asia, or what, or any other country you are targeting?
I'm still figuring out. Still
I can,
figuring out.
okay, for sure. Thank you so much. I can see Ritu Dhaya's hand has been raised. So yes, Ritu.
Ma'am, actually, my topic is UPI, and I've started working on it. But the thing is, that I'm not able to get much of material related to UPI. I don't find any articles and research much on any of the site. I have looked in Shodh Yatra.
Have you checked in Scopus?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's explore Scopus today, Ritu, and maybe
Okay.
you will get some idea on that. Anybody else who just wants to give me some idea?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Jazib this side.
Yeah, Jazib.
So,
Yeah, Jazib.
ma'am, I'm currently working on the topic where I try to understand the purchasing intention of seniors towards the elderly housing societies.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it's though it's a very new trend, I would say, like a new kind of a thing here in India, especially in the North India, because South India have adapted such kind of things. But as we have to go through the culture, demography, accessibility, design, cost, housing preferences, there are so many things that are there. So for that, I have started, trying to find out the questions. Like for an example, like what features and amenities are the most important to the senior in senior housing development. So such kind of things that is coming in my mind for now.
So when you say senior housing development, so you mean
Yeah.
the retirement houses kind of a structure, or
No, ma'am. Actually, there are multiple category for that because all comes under the umbrella of palliative care. So when
okay,
we talk about the seniors, so it's more about the geriatrics population.
okay, okay,
So for that, we have to understand the genetology. So it's a amalgamation of two, three things. One is real estate. If I'll just put on the keywords, so real estate, geriatrics, and aging. So combining all, how I can find out the best possible solution for the senior citizens. So that's what I'm
okay,
trying to do in my research.
okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jazib. Okay, so I think two or three discussions we have done regarding what kind of research questions always come in mind. So, I always start with one thing, that whenever we are starting with research, I'm sure there are multiple variables which comes in our minds, right? So there are multiple variables, for example, workplace spirituality, work performance, elderly population, and then senior housing societies, all those things, or UPI, and all those things. But do we understand that once we start picking up two to three variables, we are actually restricting our research in that particular area? For example, if I'm saying workplace spirituality, and what was the other factor? Work performance, right? So do I want to understand first that what are the consequences which has already been done a lot in the literature till now? So if I say workplace spirituality, whose topic was that? Was it Rashi's topic? Bhavna's topic?
It's mine, ma'am.
Yes. So Bhavna, so when we say workplace spirituality, I'm sure you must have done a little bit of research on that as well. But what I suggest usually to everyone who is into research is that once you have selected one particular variable, which is your main variable, which is workplace spirituality, we will first try to understand that what are the consequences which have already been discussed in the literature, and then eventually we will find out through various research methods that what are the consequences which are trending, or we will try to find out what are the research consequences which have not been done, which have not been tested empirically or qualitatively till now, right? So once we do that, we open our research thought process to a bigger area, to a bigger domain, and eventually we start moving to a fresh to a fresh research area, to a fresh zone, to a fresh realm, in that way. So Bhavna, am I right in saying that once you say workplace spirituality, are there already papers which have discussed work performance as a consequence?
Yes, ma'am. Many papers are
Yeah,
there.
many papers are there,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So when we say relationship, we always say that build a relationship once you have found a new consequence or a newer consequence. And once you have found that newer consequence, then you can start doing your concentrated research on that, right? So that is a basis of systematic literature review. I'll just start with my slides. I hope this is visible to everybody, my PPTs. I'll just put it on I'll just put it on the PPT mode. Yeah. So systematic literature review basically is a comprehensive, structured approach to identify, evaluate, and synthesize all the relevant research on a specific research question or topic. So, as I said, it can be a relationship, for example, workplace spirituality and work performance, or it can be a topic. It can be only workplace spirituality, or it can be only spirituality, right? Or it can be only organizational spirituality, which is relevant and which is which is specific to my research area. Systematic, why is it called systematic literature review? Just because we do a multiple rigorous research on multiple databases It can be a multiple research cycle on the scopus, which I can do. It can be research done basis Web of Sciences. It can be research done on ProQuest. It can be research done on Google Scholar. And it can be a research done on the combination of all these databases, where we say that these are the databases which I have taken, and these are the databases, these are the papers which are relevant to my study, and this is what trending right now. This is what which has not been studied much connected to my topic, and this is what I'm going to do eventually in my research, right? So the systematic literature review is to provide a complete unbiased overview of the existing research on a particular topic, which can inform future research, guide decision making in various fields, right? So systematic literature review gives us a very nice systematic form of process through which we filter, through which we gather, read, filter that data, and find our relevant articles, which gives us a direction towards our future research, right? So when we say systematic literature review, what is the importance? Why do we do our research in SLR, or why do guides today are saying to do systematic literature review? Number one reason is important in research because they provide a comprehensive, unbiased overview. Number two, they help the researchers identify gaps in literature, identify areas of further research, and inform for the future studies. Till now, people who have been historically submitting their theses, you must have seen that they have done LR, they have done literature review. It's simple literature review wherein they are just doing research basis the existing studies. They have given an idea what they have found through that particular research, and they have written it in their LR part of the thesis, right? There is no systematic approach which they have gone through. There is no systematic approach in terms of, are the all countries covered, are all the years covered in this research, are all the consequences or keywords have been discussed, are all the areas or regions or industries have been covered. So we always say that if you have taken India as a region, then why India? If you have taken a particular organization or industry as a particular industry in that research, then why that particular industry? You have to have a reason behind that, right? If I say that I want to do a research on workplace spirituality, if I'm taking only IT sector, then I have to give a information, I have to give a reasoning that why only IT, why IT professionals need more workplace spirituality, and why not somebody in banking, or why not somebody in bank, or are there any industries which are already using workplace spirituality as a management process, right? So all those things we have to give reasoning that why we have taken, and this specifically comes in SLR. Additionally, SLR reviews can help us to ensure that research is based on high quality relevant studies, which can increase the validity and reliability of the findings. Number four, SLR always map existing understanding of a problem. So once you start filtering your data, once you start finding out your data, what exactly you want to find out, you will understand the existing problem. You will take out, for example, you do a Scopus research, you do a Scopus search on, for example, UPI, and you see that you've got around 1 lakh papers on that, or maybe 10,000 papers on that. Out of those 10,000 papers, maybe some results which are there, they contain journals, books, and other review articles as well. You remove and you just want to read review articles, or maybe you just want to read empirical papers, right? You shortlist that. So basis that, eventually you trickle down to 120, maybe 400 number of research papers, which actually gives you relevant information, and which actually gives you the exact problem, that where exactly this gap is residing, and where exactly this problem is stuck, which you want to solve in your PhD, right? Number 5, it is rigorous scientific method. It is a rigorous scientific method because what do we do in science? In science, we follow a proper process. In science, we make sure that everything is done by a process. We have got certain protocols which we use, and then we do our experiment and take out the solution to that. SLR is specifically considered scientific because eventually you're following a process and you are finding a result through that. And last but not the least, thanks to the digital technology, thanks to the online databases which are available to us, it is pretty quick today if you want to do a systematic literature review. I'm coming back to the meeting. Any question till now? Any question till now? If it is coming in your mind, please tell me. No? Okay. 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 So let's understand whether the various types of systematic literature reviews. Systematic literature reviews can be narrative reviews. Reviews can be traditional form of literature review wherein you read the research which is existing and you summarize and synthesize the existing research. It is as simple as that. Scoping reviews, when we say, they talk about what kind of map the existing literature on a broader topic area. It provides an overview of the main concepts, theories, and sources of evidence. It identifies the gaps. It broadens the scope, and it tells you where exactly you can do your research or define your future research. And last but not the least, I'm sure you must have seen meta-analysis data, wherein you see that combines the results of multiple studies to produce a quantitative summary. How many papers have been published in workplace spirituality, for example? How many papers have been published in elderly housing? How many papers have been published in UPI papers? So all those things will be given in a meta-analysis paper. How many of you are aware of Prisma framework? Anybody who is aware of Prisma framework?
Ma'am, can you just please once again explain meta-analysis and please slide it back?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Can you please explain?
Meta-analysis. So systematic literature review can be qualitative and can be quantitative as well. The above two literature reviews usually are qualitative. Meta-analysis specifically is a quantitative summary. Meta-analysis gives you the numbers of researches which have been done, number of citations a particular research paper has got, right? Maybe in the end of the session, Bhavna, I'll show you one sample of a meta-analysis paper also, and it will give you a better view
Okay, ma'am.
of what exactly meta-analysis gives you, what kind of output it gives you. But it is, if you want to understand it right now, so it is majorly like that. What are the major studies which have been done? What are the citations in that? What kind of topics have been covered? What kind of keywords have been covered in those? What kind of methodology has been used? So quantitatively, it will give you the numbers. It will not discuss the content, right? Okay, coming to the Prisma framework in SLR, we use a particular framework which is existing, and basis that we justify that why a particular set of papers have been filtered. For example, Prisma, the full form is Preferred Reporting Items for Systematic Literature Reviews and Meta-Analysis Framework, is a widely used framework for conducting systematic literature reviews. It provides a structured approach to ensure transparency, reproducibility, and accuracy. Just show you Prisma. I'm a question, but anyone knows who can start now? Can you all see my Google screen here? Can you
Yes,
all
ma'am.
see my screen here?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can see, you have to open this website, prismastatement.org. Open that. I mean, you can do this later also. It's not a problem. I just wanted to show you, what all things you can actually do in this. So you go to Prisma statement, right, and you go to flow diagram. Can you see this Prisma 2020 flow diagram for new systematic reviews, which includes searches of databases and registers only? Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you download this particular Yeah. Can you see this Word document here, which I have opened? Yes, no, please tell me because
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
the session. Yeah, okay. Okay. And eventually, Once I see that, I my reports are assessed eligibility, which are 200. I again now start reading the abstract of each and every research paper, and I start understanding that whether this paper is relevant for my study or not. I can just say that maybe the region is out of scope. Maybe I'm doing a study only for India, so I just want to read Indian studies right now. So maybe 50 papers are coming through that. Reason two, maybe the abstract. After reading that extract not relevant. After reading, I have found that abstract is not relevant as per my research which I'm trying to do. So n can be equal to, for example, 70. Right. So if I again minus 120 out of that, so I'm left with 80 studies which I am supposed to review right now in my SLR. Is this process understandable?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, Manisha.
Ma'am, please tell the site again, please. Prisma
Prisma.
dot.
I'll just put it on the your chat box also.
Okay,
Just one.
one more question, ma'am. Ma'am, while we are using this Prisma approach or this diagram, I just want to know that means this diagram is using only for the purpose of writing this material, or this is whole process that we can
This
use.
right. So this particular flow diagram has been a particular flow diagram.
Official website to download the diagram, and I made it through the Word file. So
Okay.
was it being published or not? I don't know. Was I wrong
No,
to make
you
this?
are not. So there are, so as Rashi was saying, that whether it is a compulsory or not, it is not compulsory, but it is preferable for your publication, Manisha.
Okay.
Ma'am, maybe it
Okay,
gives
ma'am.
justification to the scholar that from
Yes,
where they have gathered information.
exactly. And what protocol? It's a protocol, right? It's a protocol wherein it gives you. And if you can see here, iske this Prisma 2020 flow diagram for new systematic. This you can put it in your paper also. That this particular table has been downloaded from Prisma, and in that particular table only I am feeding up my data. Am I
Okay,
understandable
ma'am.
here? So it just gives you a protocol कि this is what you have to follow. We are not saying कि exactly आप ऐसे ही करेंगे, but I'm just saying कि this is a much preferred
Um,
way for journals. Yeah, Ruchika.
Ma'am, suppose we initially only get 100 papers related to our research. Then, if we shortlist 50 out of it or 40, so will that be also considered under the systematic literature review, or there has to be more number of papers?
So the rule of thumb
For
is
my research, I can only get 100 papers.
Ruchika, your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Yeah, so I understood your question. So, so the rule of thumb for SLR is that you have to have 30 to 50 papers to write a SLR, for your particular research topic. And if you're only finding 100 papers, then I'm not very sure, because maybe then you're doing something wrong in terms of searching the right databases. Ruchika, what is your research area?
Ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Hello?
Yes, you're audible now.
Ma'am, my research area is related to sustainable consumption. So,
अच्छा,
where I'm trying to find out the buying intention of consumers towards refurbished goods.
ठीक है, ठीक है. And what databases have you found now till now? What kind of databases have you researched till now?
Ma'am, so far only Google Scholar. I am through Google Scholar only. I am trying to find the research papers. I have not accessed Scopus or Web of Sciences yet.
So you will get a lot of papers through Scopus and Web of Sciences as well. I'll just give you a demo, Ruchika, and maybe then you can start using that. Navdeep has asked, do you have access to Scopus database in Jamia? Navdeep, we are planning it soon, but till today, I'm using for this session my own personal account.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Navdeep. Yeah. So coming on to Prisma. So I hope everybody has got this. I have given the link on the chat also. If you want to download this particular format for your systematic literature review, and you can find out. Now the question comes that what next? What do we do next, right? So let me come back to my PPT, and maybe we will go ahead further in this. So first step when we start with our SLR is we say that try to identify your research question or your research objective.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to disturb, one more question.
Particular construct on which you want to study.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, we have 4 diagrams on this site. That do we have to download only first one, or we can download any one?
It depends upon your research, Manisha. 1 second. So if you see, for management, I usually use my databases and registers only, which is the first option. If you are in a field wherein you have got magazines or other databases also which are relevant for you, then you download the second the diagram which says registers and other sources, right? And then the next 2 options are for updated systematic reviews, which is for something like wherein you have done a systematic literature review, and then you want to update that particular table. Then you can use this third option. I'll just show you the third option also. Can you see this? In the last, they have said new studies included in the review, and next they have said total studies included in the review. Ki I have done all my screening, but uske baad also I have added some new studies as well. Am I understandable? For example, 2022 tak I have done my research. Now my paper, while writing my paper, or while I have published my paper, I want to do that more revision on that particular topic. I want to add certain new researches also. So maybe I can use the third flow diagram to add more research papers on that and start writing new research or updated research on that. So usually in management, we just use the first option. Is that fine, Manisha, or can I
Yes,
go ahead?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So next is, so I was on my PPT. So systematic literature review, there are a few steps. I'm sure the PPT is looking a little verbatim, but if you try to understand, it's a very practical thing which we'll be doing in our session as well. So first we do is we identify the research question and objectives, which 3 students have given me. Develop inclusion and exclusion criteria for selecting relevant studies. Conduct a comprehensive search on relevant databases and sources. As simple as that. For example, if I'm talking about workplace spirituality, Bhavna, I'm taking your topic. Is that fine, Bhavna, if I search for your topic today in the session?
Yes, ma'am, it would be definitely. It's a pleasure here.
Okay, great. So if I take workplace spirituality, so I find out that what kind of areas do I have, what is my research objective? First of all, my research objective, first of all, is to find out, for example, that what is the effect of workplace spirituality in general in corporate world, in specifically targeting India region or Delhi NCR region, right? I do that. Next is inclusion exclusion criteria. For example, in my research, I don't want to search books, or I don't want to search conference papers, or I don't want to even search review papers. I want to only restrict my search to empirical researches or research papers in general. Don't want to go for reviews, right? So I that is my exclusion criteria. Next is I screen the identified studies based on inclusion and exclusion criteria. Assess the level and quality of each study through title and abstract screening, right? So we say that try to understand, try to screen basis databases. Mein you get lot of options. Scopus maybe, Google Scholar maybe, get lot of options in filtering the data from which year to which year, from which author, exactly you want books or you want journal search or you want research paper directly, review articles only. So you get all those options. Then second is you again screen. For example, 5,000 से start किया था. Now I'm sitting on a database of around 40-50 papers. Now I sit down and read the abstracts and I read the titles. And now through reading the title and abstract also, I start understanding ki हाँ यार, this is what I want. This is where I want to study, and this is the topic which I don't want to study. Right? So workplace spirituality, for example, I want to study in IT industry, but maybe I don't want to study in gaming industry. For example, I don't want to study in banking. Right? So all those things you keep on reading it through the title and the abstract, and you keep on rejecting those studies which you don't want to include in your SLR. You include finally you include this once you start including, select the final set of studies to be included in the systematic review, retrieve and collect the full text of the selected studies, analyze. Now analyze, extract the relevant data from the selected included studies, conduct a qualitative or quantitative synthesis of the findings. Qualitative synthesis can be a systematic literature review wherein you are understanding the content, you are reading the content, etc. And quantitative can be bibliometric, wherein you are doing a bibliometric analysis or meta-analysis, wherein you are doing a number kind of a synthesis of your analysis. And last, you report. You summarize the finding of the systematic review. Prepare a comprehensive report following a PRISMA guideline. Provide recommendations for future research and practice. Once you are done with your, with filtering out every data, then eventually you find out, what kind of research area you want to enter, what is the gap, and what kind of research area you eventually want to enter. Steps of systematic literature review, as I have already discussed, but these are more precise. Formulate a research question, define a protocol, it can be PRISMA. So as I said, it is not compulsory, but today papers are publishing only through PRISMA framework. So it is good to know that how PRISMA works and how to follow that PRISMA diagram. Next is you collect the data through various databases. You critically analyze of what to include, what not to include. Analyze the presenting and present the results. Interpret the results and improve and update the reviews. Right? So let's start with our Scopus database. Is this visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I am just
Yes, ma'am.
start with for example, I let's start that how a basic of first level student will start the research on Scopus. For example, I say workplace spirituality. I think it's just got logged out. Just give me a second. I'll just re-log in again. Yeah, just give me a second, please. Yeah, can you all see this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I say workplace spirituality and I search. How many papers have I got? 1,217 papers. Right? So, but if you can see here, the Scopus has automatically put an and to it. Right? So it means that Scopus is picking up all the papers which are connected to workplace and which are connected to spirituality? Yes? Yes or not? So is it the right research? Is it the right search which I am doing? Is it right what I am doing? Is it the right output which I have got?
Yes, ma'am, I think.
Yes, ma'am, I also think because it's workplace and spirituality.
And they are all this kind of papers.
Okay. In workplace spirituality, when you are using two words in this set of 1217 papers, you will see that there will be papers which will be talking about workplace and spirituality, right? But what about workplace spiritualism? What about organizational spirituality? Am I understandable here? Spirituality is not the
Yes, ma'am.
only. I think. Uh, I'm sorry. Bhavna. If
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not wrong here, workplace spirituality is not the only term which is used in research
Yes, ma'am.
to understand
Yes, ma'am.
spiritualism, right?
Spiritualism is also, yes, ma'am. It is not only the single term that is used. Yes, ma'am.
So I'll do something. I would want Bhavna's help in this. Let's do that. Let's say, just 1 second. I just need some water. Bhavna, is that right?
Ma'am, we can put an asterisk mark as well, I think, after
Yes,
spiritual.
yes. I'll come to that. But workplace spiritualism is used. Organizational, is it used? Organizational. I don't know your research topic, so you need to help me out in that.
Ma'am, yes, in some papers it is.
Now, if we search that, maybe no, we have reduced the number. So now, if you can see in this particular research, we have got 786 documents which are specifically talking about workplace spirituality or workplace spiritualism, right? Again, now if I say that instead of spirituality, people are using spiritualism, people are using religion, there are some researchers which are using mindfulness, for example. So, all those things, whatever is coming in your mind, you need to start putting it in this particular string. So, there is one more concept wherein I put an asterisk. So, I say, can we see here? We can see spirituality also. We can see spiritual also in this particular case, spiritualism also. So, right, so all these, am I understandable here? Am I understandable here, please? Is this process understandable, which I'm trying to explain here in Scopus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I want response from other students as well, please. Rashi, Rutuja.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So so that's what I'm saying. Though it's not a single research, it's not a single string in your research which you can use, but you can use different permutations and combinations to find out the right set of things which thank you so much, right set of things which you want to eventually keep on digging out in Scopus. And Scopus is one of the most relevant databases which is having research papers, excuse me, which is having research papers in each and every domain, right? So you will have to find out some time in trying to understand that what exactly I'm trying to search in my database. If I go back, I think Ruchika was saying that I'm not able to find out much papers. Ruchika, was I right? Am I right in this?
Yes, ma'am.
Ruchika, what is your topic?
Ma'am, sustainable consumption of refurb. वैसे it is sustainable consumption, but otherwise it is a buying intention of consumers on refurbished goods.
Hmm. To sustain, let's start. If you are doing your SLR right now, so maybe you want to start with a broader, topic. So sustainable consumption,
Yes, ma'am.
and I say, uh, or sustainable, sustainability consumers. I'll just say sustainable consumers, sustainable mindset, right? And you add one more in this, wherein you say refurbished goods. In this particular case, Ruchika, refurbished goods will be another construct, right? Sustainable consumption is another construct, and refurbished goods is another construct, if I'm not wrong in this. Let me search it like this. There is no document. Let's delete this.
Ma'am, if we keep it only sustainable consumption and remove, then maybe.
Now, yeah. So if I have put in sustainable consumption and sustainable mindset or sustainable mindset, you get 4,735 documents. In
Yes.
refurbished goods, maybe you need to change, Ruchika. So eventually maybe you need to find out the research papers connected to your area and what kind of terms exactly are they using, which is searchable on databases.
Okay, ma'am.
Am I understandable here? So
Yes, ma'am.
refurbished
Yes,
का
ma'am.
कुछ और do they use any other term instead of refurbished ki nahi?
Recycled goods or refurbished electronics.
Let's try recycled only. We've got 45 documents. There are many other terms also, I'm sure, which is being. One second, I just. Yeah, the discuss the UPI topics. Yes, are you there, Ritu? So I think Ruchika, you can come back. Ruchika, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think
I'm
Ruchika,
there.
yeah. So Ruchika, I think you should ideally find out more search terms, more terms which are used in lieu of refurbished or recycled in your papers, for example. And maybe then you will get better results in this particular study.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, if I'm not wrong, then renovated or reconditioned can also be used instead of refurbished.
Renovated. I mean, many terms can be used in that in this particular study. So I'm just trying to understand कि और क्या क्या है because it's just showing no documents to many terms. Sustainability or sustainability. let's put an asterisk in that.
Or ma'am, if you put e-waste in search documents, e-waste.
In this
It,
particular search of mine, you've got 13,000. And I'm not very sure that how relevant is this. No, this is not giving me the right. It is not giving me the right. So maybe, so all these, that's what I'm saying, permutations and combinations you have to find out in Scopus to try to understand that what kind of, research topics, research papers you want to shortlist. So if I go to business management and accounting only, I have got 1100 papers in this. Can you see that, Ruchika?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Around 1100 topics in this particular. Maybe then you can, if you can all see here, if I want to again, because 1100 is again a huge number, and maybe every research article will not be relevant to my study. So maybe let's try to filter it also. So I say that I just want to read articles. I don't want to see book chapters or conference or review papers. Any idea that why are we not including review papers here?
No, ma'am.
Review papers are not usually added in your SLR. It's not a mandate not to add it, but usually we don't add it because review papers never talk about new constructs in a particular study. They are just telling you the existing literature, existing review only, and that is what exactly you are also doing. So eventually, you want to pick up empirical or qualitative studies to understand new consequences, new antecedents and relationships on which you can work upon. Is that Mr. Spencer Hastings? Hi, Dr. Kohli. Could we patch now? Sorry, what? His name is Ayushman. Okay. Could we please just discuss the UPI topic discussed by Mr. I believe. Okay. Hi, Ayushman. I'll come to UPI topic as well. Okay. Just one second. So, Ruchika, you can start doing your research like that. So, I have just limited to
Okay,
the
ma'am.
articles only. And then over here, if you go to the keyword section, you can shortlist it basis on keywords as well. Sustainable development, sustainability, concrete aggregates. I don't think you want to use
Environmental impact can also be there.
recycling. You can take up environmental impact. You can take circular economy. You
Yes,
can take
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
waste management. You can take, right. So
Yes,
all these things you can pick up. And I'm just giving you an example. So environmental sustainability, right? So you can limit your research to that. So how many papers do you get now? You get now 646 documents.
646.
This will be a good number to do a bibliometric analysis, right? But for SLR, you need smaller number. So for SLR, you would need 30 to 50 papers in general, which are used, right? So you say that, okay, I don't want to, do a पूरा historical study नहीं करना है मुझे. Maybe from last 10 years only, I want to take this data. So I say from 2013 to 2023. I just want papers. पिछले 10 साल का SLR, I am doing 559. It's a pretty recent research, right? Then I say source type. I say I want only journals. Then I say I want only English, right? Country or region. I specifically want if I'm doing only Indian market.
India.
So yeah, I'm doing, right? Or maybe you can do an Asia study as well. Maybe you can pick up China as well, right? And you can pick up Hong Kong as well. So all those things, I mean, depends upon your guide and your discussion. You can pick up these kind of areas and you limit your research on that. Now, if you see how many papers you are left with, 184 documents. Good. So
184.
what about I have reached a good number on which I can basically now download an Excel and start reading that what exactly I want in my study and I don't want in my study. Good idea here would be for everyone would be that ये जो string बनाया, the string which I have created here, I just copy it. I just copy that string and I paste it somewhere in one document. I just paste that. And what was the second term? Recycled. Is that fine? You just save that particular string which you have searched on Scopus.
And ma'am,
Am I
you have written, yes, ma'am. And ma'am, you have written sustain, SUSTAINAB. So, like, so why only till
sustain
B?
only?
Any reason for that,
It can be sustainable, it can be sustainability,
okay,
right?
ma'am, okay.
So ऐसे के बहुत सारे there can be many words which can come. है ना? So I'll just tell you my topic. 1 second. I'll just tell you. Let's remove this. Maybe I'll just tell you another topic. Maybe it'll give you better clarity. Job crafting is one concept. है ना? Then under that, I have job crafters also. And under job crafting, there are 4 sub variables also, whose papers individually also have been written. So maybe I want to put those names also in this particular string. So if I just write craft, job craft, and I put an asterisk on it, maybe I'll get results crafting ke bhi, crafter ke bhi, everything I will get in terms of job crafting when I talk about this. Let's remove this. There is some issue with the. Okay, I just have to clear this also, na? I've started another research and I have done. I've not removed the filters. Okay, I've not removed the previous filters. Maybe that is why this thing is not coming. So I just need to clear all. So if you can see, I've got 1191 documents. I forgot to clear my filters off. Once I've cleared my filters off, I have got 1191 documents. Now if I say asterisks, can you see the difference here?
Yes, ma'am.
Once I put an asterisk on the craft, my research has just doubled it. Now I have got 2787 documents. Am I understandable? That is one.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
So when you put an asterisk on anything, it just increases your reachability to more research papers which are using similar words, which are of the same topic, which have been used by various authors. So it will just help you in searching more research papers. So sustainability ka Manisha, you can write sustain as well. I'm just giving an example. So I'm not sure very relevant or not, but it's a huge data which is coming as compared to sustainability. So this is one hack which we say that it always works. Right? Ritu, are you there? Ritu, Thaya, are you there? Ritu, are you there? Ritu, I wanted to discuss UPI with you. No, I don't think so. She's there. Okay, so I'll do one thing. So I want to come back to the next step. So Ayushman, maybe next in some time once she's able to speak, we will discuss the UPI thing as well. I want to move to the next step because we are losing on time right now. So next step would be I'm Bhavna again coming back to your topic. Workplace spirituality. Can you all see this? 727 documents I have received through Scopus. One interesting feature which Scopus has is analyze results. It is right here. Can you all see this? Analyze results.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, it's where?
It's can you see this? जहाँ पे मेरा cursor है, can you see cursor? Analyze
Yes, ma'am.
results.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you click on that, and it will give you a beautiful,
Right.
images of what exactly this 727 data summary is. It will give you the number of papers from 1998 from the starting to 2024. Obviously, there is a dip because we are just sitting in February, and obviously the number of documents will be less. February तक भी 12 documents have been published in Scopus, but 2023 तक there were 108 documents. Yes. So it gives you a very nice summary of the number of years and number of articles published in workplace spirituality. Documents source also, it gives you the source also which journal etc. are giving. By authors. N. Garg is apparently one author which is publishing lot of papers on workplace spirituality. Affiliation will give you information about the universities under which this particular topic is being worked upon. Documents by country, documents by type, subject area. For example, we have not put in any filter in this. So if you see in business management area, if you come to this in a bigger level, in business management area, you can see 35.6% of the papers have been published in business management area, 5% lie in psychology, and 15% lie in social sciences, and 14% are there in arts and humanities. So the areas which are relevant for my management studies maybe can be business and management, psychology, arts and humanities, and social sciences. And sometimes you can pick computer engineering also if you're trying to find out IT specific, concepts of workplace spirituality in IT industry. Right? So you can
Ma'am,
pick up that depending upon your, yeah.
ma'am, these diagram we are going to write in an SLR.
It is completely your choice, Bhavna. So I'll tell you, SLR is not going to be very simple, right? It is a very simple database. I have just picked up Scopus, right? If you want, you can do that as well. So you say that, okay, I put down some filters. I say from year 2010 to 2020 or 24, right? मैं कुछ filter लगाती हूँ and whatever filter I to you, Bhavna, on this. Articles, thousands and lakhs of research papers on Google Scholar also. Thousands and lakhs of research papers on Google Scholar also. Are you understanding that? So maybe I don't want to limit my research over here, and maybe if I change the strings now, as I've explained, I put the asterisks, I put the invert. Research simple. If you say that, and many papers have got published wherein they say we have just taken up Scopus and Scopus database, and we have done our research, and it is a very valid thing to do. Then you can maybe use this kind of diagrams which are coming in analyze results. But if you are trying to parallelly search for Web of Science also and Google Scholar also, then maybe these diagrams will not be relevant for you. Am I understandable? Am I understandable here to the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So the next step would be that maybe Bhavna would like to download this, right? So I say CSV is usually an Excel format, wherein I say that, okay, so first of all, first thing you have to tick is all, select all, and then you export in CSV. And you say, and you usually, I usually, what I do is I select all the cells here and I export it. Can you see you're exporting 291 documents? It will just give me a comma delimited Excel file. It will just take 2 minutes more. Just taking too much of yeah. So we have got this Excel sheet, right? This Excel sheet gives you author's full names, title, year, source, that is the journal name it will give you. It will give you everything, page number, DUIs, it will give you link, URLs will be provided here, abstract will be provided here. Right? So all those information, lot of information is provided in this particular sheet. So what do I do is I first of all simplify this sheet. Maybe I would want to keep authors' names in year and source title, volume, issue. Maybe you can keep it in the end, or it come as a part of your reference, or you can just remove it right now. Right? Then you put DOI, you keep it. Affiliation, you keep. If you want to, example, what university is working right now on this, I'm deleting it. Authors with affiliations, and you keep the abstract. The most important two columns which you want to keep right now is your title and is your abstract. Right. Most important two columns which you want to study and you want to filter. This is your title and your abstract. Sorry, I've taken author. नहीं करना है, abstract. 1 second. So I do it on abstract. Right. Now you start. First of all is now you try to find out what are the duplicates which are existing. There are many options which are available to remove the duplicates in Excel that you can do. Once you have removed the duplicates, then maybe you can just start reading the titles and the abstracts. So if you, Bhavna, now if you start, you will see that workplace spirituality ke connected, there will be many relevant papers and there will be many papers which you think are not relevant in terms of your study. Right? So you read the titles, you read the abstracts, delete.
And then I have to give a justification as well why I have included it and why I have
No, no,
excluded it,
no,
right?
no justification in this. You can just put relevant and not relevant in this, right? You can just put relevant and not relevant, and it will just work for you, right? So justification will come, idly in this particular flow diagram. If you see here, now are you understanding why Prisma is used? Because in this now you can actually fill up records identified. Earlier, the records identified were around how many? 250. Out of that, duplicates removed, for example, were 50 or 60 or 70. Then you minus that number. Then again, you put record excluded in this. Right. So all those things you put and you start read and you start, writing what kind of research exactly you want to do. I'll just show you one paper to everybody, and maybe then you will have a better understanding of how people actually report a bibliometric paper. Just 1 second. Can you see this document? Guys, can you
Yes,
see this
ma'am.
document?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if you can see, it's a very beautiful paper. It's an A category paper which has been published. This is by a professor from, I'm not sure, IIT Roorkee. Yes, IIT Roorkee. Rajiv Dhar has published this paper. So we can see here, Manisha, you were asking now. So herein you can write Prisma flow diagram outlining the search strategy, right? So
Yes, okay,
in
ma'am.
this, you can write records identified through database searching. सबसे पहला जो मेरा नंबर आया था through Scopus it was 38, through Science Direct it was 32, Web of Science it was 21, ProQuest 262, Google Scholar, but obvious it will be 100, 179. It will be a huge number because Google Scholar is, having a lot of database, right? So they have picked up full data from these 4 5 databases, right? So now they have, after removing the duplicates, if you see, they're left with 113, 1329 research papers. Why they have come to this number? They have given the exact number. Duplicates removed through Mendeley 98. Mendeley is a reference management software which removes duplicates for you as well. So 98 have been removed by Mendeley. Duplicates identified manually, जो आप Excel से formula लगा के आप remove करते हो, that is 3 have been removed. Articles not in English, 1 has been removed. Research notes, 1 has been removed. And records excluded, again they are saying that now excluded by title or abstract, 1174. Basis SLR meta-analysis studies, they have removed 92. They have also not included justification. This table gives you a justification that why exactly you need to include this in your structured literature review. Yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Then you move to full text articles assessed for eligibility. In that also, you again exclude certain. For example, this paper is on job crafting interventions. So you remove 8 papers. Some papers are talking about top-down job redesign interventions. You remove those papers. Some paper are only talking about participatory job redesign. You don't want to. You remove those papers. You are manually, while removing, you are manually reading those abstracts and titles, and then only you are removing. And eventually, they have came up with 33 papers. And on that 33 papers, they have done their SLR. In inclusion category, if you can see, they have done proper, inclusion of why, what kind of papers have been included, why they have included like that, right? So then you put a complete content analysis of what exactly are you trying to do here. Yes, so this was about SLR. This was about your Scopus, how exactly you can do. Like in this particular case also, this is your Scopus database. Similarly, if you want to extend your research to other databases, so you put one more column here, right? And you put source, database source, and you say Scopus. Read the data from bibliometric databases files. I have got a database from Scopus currently, so I'm going to show it through that. It accepts Web of Science also, Dimensions, Lens, and PubMed also, right? I just browse it. I go to my file. Just 1 second. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to find out that. Crafting and thesis and this. Ideally, I'll get my database. Okay, let's do one thing. Of citations for an author, for example, I say I need to see papers which are at least having 5 citations. Can you see? These are the documents which are giving co-authorship analysis. If I go here, so can you see here? These guys are not connected much. Again, I'll just show you. If I go to co-citations, co-occurrence, I go to author keywords the papers should have. Next. So this table will actually give you. So if you see, if I'm trying to search on some topic like entrepreneurial intention, entrepreneurship education, entrepreneurial self-efficacy have been used 55 times. Similarly, entrepreneurial learning has been used 7 times only. Influencing factors only 5. Entrepreneurship only 7 papers have been published. So you can copy this data also. First question you have.